Good morning.
Morning. Everybody a chance to get in here. Set up my fancy operation. You guys see how this is all set up. I've got like this. The camera is on my TV screen. So
Got it.
real professional setup.
I want to
Thank God we
change.
don't have earthquakes here. It's like everything would shift.
I want to change my background. We're past the Grinch.
Yeah.
Let me see. I think I have 2023 goals. Let's just do that.
Yeah, you can do a screenshot and make that your background.
You're funny. Well,
Poster goals for 2023 on your screenshot. Remember every year Blaine did an exercise where you would write down your goals on a piece of paper and then take a picture of it and use that as your screensaver on your phone.
Yeah. Yep. So that you can see it every
That's-
single day.
That's for people with ugly children that don't want to put their children or grandchildren on their phone.
Right. So let me add image.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I
That's not going to work.
should use Gary as my stand-in. You tell him where to start.
How much paper are we going to need, Jerry?
What's that?
How much paper are we going to need?
How much paper will you need?
Yeah.
Not much.
All right.
Getting those numbers down, that's the important thing. Said it a couple times. We'll go over it again and go over how to get some of those numbers if people aren't in it. And I also have some average numbers for people to go by. We had over 70 people signed up, which means we'll get about 14 show up.
I'm having some problems with my Zoom. I don't know what's going on.
And this is all going to be recorded, so anybody that has trouble or can't make it for some reason, or if you get interrupted by a customer.
I'm going to have to log back in. Something's happening with my Zoom. I'll be right back. Got it.
Just all your technology is messing up today.
It
Morning,
is.
Jerry.
Good morning.
Jerry, how you doing?
Good. How are
Morning,
you?
everyone.
So,
Morning.
I was hoping to be at my desk this morning. Good morning, but half my team is using vacation time, year-end vacation time. So, you know, I step up as the owner of the company. I got a team of 9, and I just step up and I still go out in the field when I need to keep things moving. So I'm setting tile today, but you got my ears. I'm just not going to be able to.
You know, the nice thing, well, this will be
calculator and
recorded,
notepad.
so you guys will be able to go through it again and write down the numbers and take your time in your office. But you know, one of my advantages is I never knew how to do the installs, so I could never go out and fix or or do anything for somebody. So that was almost an advantage. It's like, well,
Yeah,
I got to find an
So-
installer somewhere because I am not going to do it.
yeah. I'm 25 years installer. Now I'm learning how to work smarter versus harder, and now I'm ramping the business end of things up. So it's why I'm real intrigued. I'm happy to be here. So I'll be listening and paying attention, but I'll also be setting dials.
I'll tell you, my first experience with that was I was in the blind business and I did my own installs. And so I had to hire and trust other people to do installs, which was nerve-wracking as hell. And I couldn't believe what I was paying these guys to do the installs, that I was taking my time to do them. So that was a real eye opener. And then when I got into the flooring business, I didn't know how to do the installs, so it wasn't even an option. Kind of an interesting. So I have been on both sides of that coin.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to mute myself here so you don't have to listen to all my background noise.
All right. Yeah, we don't need tile installation background noise. All right, good morning, everyone. I still got a few people coming in and joining.
That's all he's showing.
So anybody have anything to say or want to chime in? Any questions before we get started? You guys can try to all speak at once. That way nobody can hear you.
It's the last Friday of the year.
Yeah.
Hey.
What are you gonna do? I'm looking at the stock market. So last trading day of the year. All right, when we get started, I'll mute the background for everyone too. So if you do have something to say, raise your hand, or I can't see everybody's screen. So if you have something to say, you want to chime in on something, you got a question,
Madam, go up here and sit this so you don't have to listen. I'm on a webinar thing.
So just try to unmute it, unmute yourself, or ask. There is a place where you can ask questions. It's just that I might not see it, but when we get to the end, we'll go over questions. So write your questions down and save them so I can answer any questions that you have. And we're going to be doing some math. So this is going to, some of it is confusing. So let's go over and make sure that you guys do understand some of the numbers that we're talking about and how do you arrive at some of these numbers. Again, for those that don't have your numbers, you don't have that information at your hand, I'll give you kind of averages in the industry, just something to go by so you can go forward with the exercise until you do get more solid numbers. All right, so can you guys, I've got two screens up here. I just need to know from somebody, can you see the, do you only see the goal setting screen and then maybe some of the, like my photo?
It's showing setting your goals for 2023.
Okay, that's the main thing you see. There's another one where I'm entering people that want to get in. I just want to make sure you guys don't see all that. All right, we've got a few more people coming in here. I should have keep my background music on for just a little bit longer. There, so you guys can listen.
We can't hear the music,
Oh,
Jerry.
you can't hear it at all?
No, that's why I text you. I said, play that music.
It's I think I've recorded once before and it was hard to hear, like coming from the phone to the, I'm not as sophisticated as some people out there. All right, so let's get started, guys. Got about 23 people on. That's good. All right, thank you guys all for coming, and let's go over setting your goals. Something I like to do every year to just get me motivated. I put it up on the whiteboard. It's up there for everybody to see. We'll go over that, some of the things you need to do, but always something fun to do at the end of the year or the beginning of the next year. So I started the recording. All right, all you guys are gonna need.
Location at the time.
All you guys need for this project is your tape measure, a screwdriver, a pipe wrench, and a hammer. Or just a pad of paper and a pen. And you're gonna need a calculator. So take some notes, write some things down. You know, it's funny, I went and visited Braddock from FloorZap, tech guy. And I was in his office. I didn't have a pen. I'm like, hey man, do you have a pen I could use? No, he doesn't have a pen in his office. He doesn't have paper or pen. Young tech guy only goes by writing notes and everything on a computer. I'm like, how do you not have a paper and a pen? Am I really that old now? All right, so the question I ask is, when you're going on a trip, what's the most important thing to know? It's your destination, okay? The first thing you need before planning any trip is where you're gonna go. This is one of the reasons why goal setting is so important. You know, if you don't keep score, you don't track, you don't know where you're going, how do you know how you're doing? How do you measure how you're doing? Just feeling good from getting a good sale? That's not enough. You guys need to keep track enough on weekly, monthly basis to know where you're at and know where you're going and know how you can improve. So how much did you sell in 2022? And what is the total that you would like to sell in 2023? So do you want to get to 750? I mean, some people are starting out, some people are below 500,000. I talked to many guys that are transitioning from installer to retail store owner. You know, are you trying to get to 750? Do you want to get to $1 million? If you're a salesperson, do you want to be a $750,000 a year salesperson or $1 million producer? You know, that's not out of the realm. $1 million producer is great. You know, every company has that rock star that's going to do $1 million. You know, are you ready to go for the $5 million mark? So I want everybody, let's just take a couple minutes here and think about your goals. I want you guys to write down, you know, what's the total revenue goal that you want to do this year? So if you're the company, if you're the owner or sales manager, write it down for your company. What are you looking to do this year? Go ahead and just pick a number. And then if you're a salesperson, same thing. Choose a number. Where do you want to go this year? How much do you want to do? And a good number to use, I like to use, is about 30% more than the previous year. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to get that 30% increase. It's not out of the possibilities. I know my first 5 years in business, all with the exception of 1 year, we did well over 30% more each year. A lot of people enjoyed great increases over the last couple of years just due to inflation. So knowing your numbers, these are pretty easy numbers to figure out. What is your average ticket? The average ticket is the total sales divided by how many customers you have. It's really that simple. And since we're at the end of the year, you should be able to go back to last year, find out what your total sales were, and divide it by the number of customers that you have. So if my total sales is 675,000 and I had 150 customers last year, my average ticket is $4,500. What's your closing rate? And again, to figure out, I'm sorry guys, I'm having a little technical difficulty with my program here. So to figure out your closing rate, come on, things work good. How many leads did you have? Now, to me, I consider a lead that's getting the name, email, phone number, and address. You know, and it's something where I can market back to the customer. So that's what I consider a lead. Somebody that calls and doesn't leave their name or number. Somebody I can't follow up. Maybe they came in the showroom and determined right away they don't want to do business there for whatever reason. I don't consider that a lead. I'm not keeping that close a track. I want things that I can track. I want leads. I want names and numbers, people that I can market to later on, people that didn't buy from me too. So that's what I consider a solid lead. So take the amount of leads you have. You should have some kind of CRM program. If you don't have one yet, you know, hook up with FloorZap, get that handled so you can keep track of the people you have. So of those leads that you had, how many did you sell? So the sold jobs divided by the leads, that's your closing rate. I talked to a lot of flooring dealers that don't know their closing rate and they're guessing, and usually they're guessing really high, 75, 80%, because they don't really know. They think that they're selling at that higher rate. I've talked to people that have that higher rate because they don't keep track of the jobs they didn't get. So there's only a few leads that they didn't get that are in their system that maybe they're not keeping, you know, they're only keeping track of those few leads that they didn't get. But for the most part, unless they sold it, they don't keep track of it. So they have no idea what their closing rate is. So if you haven't figured out your numbers yet, or you're new, here's some numbers that you can go by, some industry standards. Closing rate, I would use 40% as a closing rate. We want to be about 55%. I mean, 55% is hitting on all cylinders. If you're much higher than that, you got to look at your pricing. Maybe you're not pricing high enough. If you're way lower than 40%, then yeah, you definitely need sales training. You need to look at that and improve on how you close jobs and how you're selling a job. But you know, 50% is about industry standard. But as you get, you know, I think a goal is 55%. If you don't know your numbers, use 40% as your closing rate. Average ticket for hard surface. If you're only doing hard surface, you don't sell any carpet, I would use $7,500. That's a good average ticket price. An average ticket price for a combination of carpet and hard surface is about $5,500. And then an average ticket for primarily carpet, if you're mostly carpet, that's $4,000. 4,000 could be a little bit high, but again, with the increase in inflation and all that, that number has really gotten up. It used to be quite a bit lower. Now, again, some of you guys, if you're down at 2,300, your average ticket is really low. We got to look at that. You know, you got to look at what products are you selling? You know, what margins do you have? Do you know the difference between a margin and a markup? Who's your target audience? You know, and there's ways that we can increase these to these numbers easily. Commercial, you're going to do much greater numbers at a lower margin. If you want to try and get more accurate, then go ahead and take out the really high numbers that you have. If you have some tickets that are, 75, 80,000, over 100,000 or more, if you want to take those out to try and get a good average ticket for residential retail, that's fine. And then you can also take out things like area rugs if you're looking to get an average price for residential retail. So you got small ticket items, $400, $500. If you want to remove some of those to get a closer average ticket for your company, then you might take the time to go ahead and do that. Especially over the holidays, we got a little bit extra time. All right, so for the exercise that we're doing right now, we're going to choose 8,500 as our goal. The average ticket for our fictitious company is $4,500 and the closing rate is 40%. So let's just talk about this for a salesperson. If you have an individual salesperson, and it works either way, salesperson or business, the numbers work the same. But that salesperson, they want to do $850,000 next year, 2023. So with an average ticket of 4,500, they're going to need 188 customers. Very simple math. 850,000 divided by 4,500, you need 188 sold customers, installations that you're doing. Okay, how many leads do you need? So you take your closing rate of 40%, and we figured out that we need 470 opportunities or leads in order to reach our goal. That's 39 leads a month. I encourage everybody to have a weekly meeting, and on that weekly meeting, you put it on the whiteboard. I don't care if you just have one salesperson. You need to have a weekly meeting so you can track. How are we doing so far? It's January 15th. How many leads do we have so far? Are we on track to get that number 39? That number should be on the board somewhere. Okay. You want to track to get the 39 leads a month to reach your revenue goal. That's only about 9 appointments a week. So your magic number is 9. So you have a weekly meeting. I encourage you to do that on Mondays, Monday or Tuesday. It should be towards the beginning of the week. It's always good to do this. I learned this from Chet Holmes. It's always good to do this at the beginning of the week because you're a little bit more motivated. You can put that energy towards your week versus if you have it in the middle of the week or towards the end of the week. If you're doing it in the middle or end of the week, your weekly meeting is more focused on putting out fires and handling problems. And the purpose of the weekly meeting is to educate your salespeople, grow your business, look at your goals, figure out what you're doing, game plan. There's a different kind of energy to that versus it being a bitch session and just putting out fires. Okay, so you're going to look at that in your weekly meeting and say, I've got some leads that are already in my pipeline. They're already in my funnel that maybe I set them from last week to this week. So maybe I have 2 or 3 leads. All right, I need to get to 9 as an individual salesperson. I want to get to 9 leads this week. So what are some of the things I can do to get there? All right, so on this, I want to talk about some of the ways that we can reach our goals faster. So you don't need 9 leads. We can reduce that number if you raise your prices. And there's an opportunity for very many people out there to raise your prices. You can increase your closing rate. Again, you got to know what your closing rate is. And with sales training and some effort, look, you can increase your closing rate by trying to close in the home and just asking for the sale, doing a better job following up. You will increase your closing rate. Again, if you know what your closing rate is, you will focus on trying to do better and increasing it. It's just natural as human beings that we're going to try and do better. But in order to do better, we have to know our numbers. raise our average ticket price. So you can upsell, upgrade pad and carpet. You can ask customers if they want to do more rooms. One of the things that we teach you in sales training is how to ethically and honestly sell a more expensive product. It's amazing what happens if a customer comes into your showroom and they've got a low budget, you kind of ignore their budget and end up showing them something that they're going to want, that would fit their needs better, and just help them decorate and have fun with it. Give people an opportunity to buy something more expensive. A lot of times they'll appreciate that versus going into another showroom where they're showing them something cheap as the customer may have requested. Somebody asked the question, how many showrooms do you think the average consumer goes to in order to make a purchase? And the real answer is, why are they leaving your showroom? The main reason they're leaving your showroom is not because the price was too much, is because they just didn't see the value in it, for one, and two, they probably didn't find a material that they really fell in love with. What's going to keep them in your showroom is having that product, doing decorating, having fun, being interested in them. And again, we go over this a lot in sales training. If you focus on them and you're interested in them, that keeps them in your showroom. When do they want to get this project done? What does their house look like now? How can we make it more beautiful? Get excited for them because they're getting new flooring. That's an exciting thing for people to have. They finally can afford to get this. They've been wanting it for a long time. They hate what they have now. Keep them in your showroom by getting them excited about it. They're not price shopping. They're not going to price shop. If they are still going, they're going to get a better price than you, but they might not like that person. They're going to go into Home Depot and get a much better price than yours, more likely. And they're not going to like it. They're not going to like the experience. They're not going to like the customer service. They're just not going to like it. They would rather do business with you. Upsell them. What are some ways that we can upsell them? Get them into better products, do more rooms. You can certainly improve your marketing. I'm amazed at how many people don't have regular conversations with their web company. Once a month minimum, you need to get on the phone with that web company, schedule that, make sure they're talking to you, and get constant incremental improvements. How many people do a PK session, product knowledge session? I've never had a product knowledge session bring a customer into my showroom. What brings the customers into my showroom and makes them call is marketing. So you don't need to learn more about the products. You need to learn more about how to attract customers and bring them in your showroom. So here's some marketing ideas for companies. Pay-per-click and SEO. FloorZap specializes in SEO. After this presentation, I'm going to tell you a little bit about FloorZap. They are a sponsor. And I went to Houston about 2 weeks ago, and they showed me how what they're doing with the SEO is going to save you thousands of dollars on pay-per-click. So if you're spending a lot of money on pay-per-click and it's not working like you want it, you're not getting the return on your investment, you really got to look at what they're doing from an SEO standpoint to help get you on page 1 of Google in your area for the search terms that you want, that are important to you, important to your customer. So, and you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on pay-per-click. Facebook paid advertisements. You can try hiring a company for this. You really got to stay on top of them, though. You've got to manage that company like crazy. You can learn how to do Facebook and manage it yourself. Some of the companies that I've been talking to that are doing really well and moving the fastest are these people that have learned how to use Facebook and how to manage their own marketing. And it takes time. Facebook's very confusing. Their platform sucks. I can't stand it. I've never been able to learn it myself, but some of these people have really dug in and really got to understanding how Facebook advertising works. It's worth the investment of your time to grow your business fast, and where you're not spending thousands of dollars on your marketing. You want to keep that budget lower to 3 to 5%. Some of the companies I've talked to what they're spending on marketing. I know some companies that are spending 15, 18, 20% on marketing. For most of us, that's just not sustainable. You know, I think you really want to be at that 3 to 5% on average. You might be a little bit higher in your first year or two, but you want to get that number down to about 5% and have good, effective marketing. Signs and banners work great. People see them, and they say people got to see your company like 9 times. So from a combination, they see your vehicles, they see the signs and banners going around your showroom, your Facebook advertising, pay-per-click advertising, all this stuff works in conjunction with each other to get those 7 to 9 views. We had a banner up that offered gluten-free carpet. So my son got into an Uber and got a ride back to the showroom. And this was like 2 years after I put that banner up. They asked my son, they said, "Hey, you guys were the ones that had the gluten-free carpet, aren't you?" So that really stuck. They remembered it. Monthly newsletter to your clients and people you didn't close. Newsletters in general aren't great, but touching your previous customers works. So it doesn't have to be a sale or a special. In fact, the newsletters that work the best are fun or informational. You want to put recipes in there. A great newsletter to do in December is telling people where they can go look at Christmas lights or any Christmas specials that are going on. Just something, you know, it's amazing how many of us are not even touching our previous customers. That's a gold mine. And right now, as business is slowing down, you have employees, you have salespeople, reach out to those previous customers. That's gold right there. So have a system in place to reach out to those previous customers and the people that you didn't close. You know, some of them didn't use you. They went with somebody else. And you know what? They didn't like it. They wish they would have used you. So reach out to them. And not only will they use you next time, but they'll recommend you and say, "Oh, I wish I would have used those guys." The best referrals I've ever gotten were from people that didn't use me and wish they had. Sponsoring events in your showroom. Have realtors come in. Realtors do education. You can team up with a mortgage lender and bring realtors in for an education. Single groups, if you're involved in single groups or charitable organizations, you can do events in your showroom. I never solicited. When I brought people into the showroom, they're in my showroom. It's just natural. There's no better place to have an event than in your showroom. Doing things like having those realtors out or those charitable organizations works really good. So do that, invite people into your showroom for a fun event and get to know them better. Appreciation events work great for firemen, police. We support our police event in our showroom. We did a barbecue. It was a lot of fun. That works really good. You get good publicity out of it. You could do it for school teachers, things like that. Those things cost you nothing. I mean, and it gives you opportunities to do marketing that's creative and not soliciting. You know, to me, the best kind of marketing you can do is the ones where you're just, I don't know, you're letting people know about you in a different sort of way. It's not, you're not trying to sell them. You know, you're not pushing your stuff on them. You're just doing an event or doing something fun, and they get to know you and like you, and they want to do business with you. It's not because of a sale. So for the individual salespeople, some of the ways that you can prospect as an individual. Look, I think the salespeople all have an obligation to be part of the growth of the company. that starts off with the leaders. You guys as owners, you got to have that kind of mindset. You got to have that. You're not demanding it. This is their own little business. Any salesperson that's working in your company, that's their business. And if they're going to do a good business in your showroom, they're going to build relationships with these customers. Now, we can question the ethics of those customers following them or not. But the fact is if they build a good relationship with that customer is going to want to do business with them. So if they do leave your showroom, that customer might follow. But look, as an individual salesperson, what's your goal for the year? How can you reach it? Here's some of the ways that you can prospect. Go to networking meetings. Networking meetings are one of the healthiest things you can do as a salesperson. It gives you an opportunity to stand up and talk and promote your products, promote your business. I just think it's a really healthy exercise, and it's something that is fun to do. You're building relationships. The other huge advantage of networking meetings, you meet other people in other industries that you can refer to your customers. If you become a resource to your customers of other contractors they can use, or real estate or insurance, somebody's new to your town, that makes you a valuable resource to that person. Again, it gives them another reason to do business with you that doesn't have to do with product, price, or service. Chamber of Commerce meetings, those are good. Go to those. Facebook posts on your personal page. Do something fun and interesting. Don't be soliciting. Show a project going on. Tell a funny story. Ask a question. People love it when you ask for advice. One of the things I did, we were trying to grow Carpets of Arizona, and I was saying, do you think it's a good idea in this economy right now to invest in a showroom in Santan, or should we just try to grow through good marketing? And people love giving you advice, so they get engaged on your page. So ask people for help, ask them for a question, that'll get them engaged. Show them your vehicle. We were talking about vehicle wraps. Hey, what do you think about this? Show them a couple of different designs. Do you like this one or this one? That is the best solicitation, because you're putting your message out there, but you're asking them for advice. So you're soliciting without even really soliciting, right? Responding to people in community groups. So we have a huge group out here, Go Gilbert. It's got like 70,000 people in it. Every town has these groups for their city that somebody built and did a great job. So within these groups, somebody's going to say, hey, do you know a flooring guy? Everybody's going to flood that page. Oh, use this guy. And the flooring guys are going to get on there and say, hey, use me. I'll do a great job. We have good reviews. They're hounding them. What you need to do is respond to them. Send them a private message saying, do you already have the materials? Don't introduce yourself. Just ask them if they already have the materials. What you're trying to do is start a conversation. Everybody else is soliciting themselves. If you just start a conversation, once they answer you, you have them. Because you're the only one that asked them a question about them. It works every time. Trust me, just send them a private message going, hey, do you already have the materials for your project? And then they'll say yes or no, and then you can start the conversation. And again, even at that point, I don't introduce myself. I have a couple of questions before I ever say who I am, where my showroom is, and chances are they're going to kind of look you up personally to find out who you are before they keep talking to you anyway. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, all these things work great. Don't try them though. If you're not on TikTok, don't jump on TikTok if that's not your thing. YouTube, I encourage you to shoot a video. Snapchat, I don't even know how to use that. Instagram, I think, is one of the best, but I'm not Instagram. I don't do Instagram. The people that are using Instagram are having great success with it. So if you know the platform, use that platform. And again, be entertaining. One of the questions I got as I was in this audience of marketers, and they asked, who gets paid more money, an educator or an entertainer? entertainer by far. So be an entertainer, you know, funny stories, interesting stories, ask questions, ask people what they think. So be interesting, because people are tired of the solicitations. They want to be entertained. Some of the best guys at that, Chris Price, love that guy, the floor doctors. He's always doing something fun and creative. I love it when you guys show really creative ads and things that you're doing on our forum. It's awesome. So again, treat this like it's your own personal business, because it is. You know, what you do, you can build your business. And the great thing about being a good salesperson in any company, whatever skills that you're learning, you could take with you. You know, so you'll have those skills for the rest of your life that you can use anywhere you go. And it's going to be very valuable for you. So whether it becomes marketing, prospecting, selling, closing the sale, those are great skills to learn and use in any job, any situation. So the premium flooring sales training, I'll go over that real quick. What we do in that, create a process that makes it easy for people to buy from you. We create systems to help you command more money while providing a 5-star experience. You're able to train the new salespeople fast. So I just did a big webinar about this, about being the expert. Is it important to be the expert? No, it's not. You can train people. I could train somebody within a week to go out on their own and be an effective salesperson without all this product knowledge. The more product knowledge you give them, the more confusing and the longer it's going to take to train them and get them out on their own. And the fact is all that product knowledge, they're not going to retain that information anyhow. So the more that they learn, they're going to regurgitate stuff that doesn't matter. You know, so telling people how a floor is made. Somebody was in that webinar we were talking about, like a floor that had a failure. You know, how do you handle it when somebody wants to buy a floor that you don't recommend? Well, this is exactly how I handle it. They say, man, that's a good looking product. Always first validate what they believe. Boy, that's a great looking product, but I tell you, I wish we could sell it. It just doesn't hold up like we thought it would. You know, there's problems with the installation and the warranty. The company doesn't stand behind it like we wanted to. So we don't even sell that anymore. I'm not sure why we still have the display. That's good enough. Do I have to explain exactly what happens, why the core breaks down or what goes on with the product? That explanation is good enough. So customers aren't going to inquire further. And I find that I don't know is a good answer in a lot of cases. A lot of times I would tell a customer, boy, I'm not sure what the answer is. That I just own the place, you know, and it was kind of a joke, but you find out some of these technical questions that a customer asks, you know, a lot of them are just guys showing off for their wife. And a lot of times when you get past that, hey, I'll get you the answer for that later. You know, that's a good question. I've never heard that before. Let me get you that later. You'll find that wasn't even important to them. They don't care. They'll never ask you again. And if you get the answer, great. If you don't, so what? They don't really care. Somebody was asking us the twist rate of carpet, you know, and my salesperson says, well, that's not important. No, that's the wrong answer. Saying, I don't know. I've never been asked that before. Let me figure that out and get back to you. Now continue decorating and doing your job. So create a profitable business in flooring sales training. I want you to create a profitable business that operates without you. That's the goal. Look, do you own a business or do you own a job? If you're the one wearing all the hats and doing everything, that's not a business, that's a job. And I'm helping several flooring dealers now who are interested in selling their business. I've got several people who are interested in buying a business. The one thing that they're looking for is a business that operates on its own. Somebody that wants to buy a business, wants to come in, own the business and have it as an asset. They don't want to be there. They have another business in another state or another location. They need this company to have good processes and systems and to be able to operate without them being present. So the way to sell your business or grow it and make it profitable is to make it run without you. And then that way, if you get sick or you go on vacation, you still got a profitable business that's going on. We want you to motivate you and your sales staff by giving everyone confidence and knowing you can beat the competition with higher prices. This has been the biggest thing, biggest joy of mine, the feedback I'm getting from the salespeople that I've done training with is they feel more confident. They're just comfortable, confident. They're going into customers' houses. They're having fun. They're decorating. They're not getting caught up on nuances and BS that doesn't matter. So sales training will give you that kind of confidence, and it'll help you have fun and enjoy your customer, your business. You can build a legacy that you can hand down or a business that you can sell when you decide to, and do it on your terms.
Run. Good seeing you.
Oh, Brian,
And so you can profit now in the flooring industry.
Yep, at 10 to 11. So nice meeting you, Dan. Yeah, that's cool. Or text it to me.
See you later.
Oh, no.
All right. Somebody snuck in, unmuted themselves. So if you'd like to see if the premium flooring sales program is right for you, let us know. We got a presentation. Deanna will go over it for you and see if that's something that would work for you and your company. So real quick, before we get into your questions, I want to answer your questions, but I prepared this real quick. Started working with Floors app. If you guys aren't happy with your web provider now, Floors app is a software, hands down, the best company as far as it's inexpensive. I've never really recommended software for the smaller companies because it didn't make sense to spend thousands of dollars on this. Not at this point. I would wait until you're, $2-3 million. Well, right now with Floors app, it doesn't make sense not to get it because it's inexpensive and it just helps you from soup to nuts run your company. It works as a CRM. You'll keep track of your customers, be able to give your customers an invoice, get paid from them, give your installers the work orders in English or in Spanish, request 5-star reviews. It is an operating system that works great. And it's one of the easiest systems to learn and start using right away. There's a lot of other systems out there, a lot more expensive, that are very complicated and frustrating to use. So give Floors app a try, and they even have a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like it, they'll give you your money back. No other company is doing that. Websites is a little different story. We're looking for like a 1-year commitment, and on websites, you really need that in order to get that performance, track it, make sure it's working right. So what we put together is Floors app, the Floors app website and performance packages. So we want to get you on the first page of Google. All performance packages, they include your Google business profile setup, where they put all your information in your Google profile. Monthly custom content articles, that's huge. It's just an article that they'll write on your behalf to help Google see that you're an authority in your market with your keywords. Citation buildings keeps your brand identical across all search engines. So they'll get you on all these search engines too. So Google, Bing, Yahoo, Yelp, those are the popular ones, but make sure there's 50 of them, over 50 of them, that just so your marketing is congruent. So you're showing up everywhere on the web, and this isn't expensive to do. It doesn't cost any extra. Proper header tags and meta tags, which none of you guys will understand. I don't know if I understand. Real-time progress reports. So, and a mandatory quarterly meeting. Again, I recommend a monthly meeting. They do at the minimum a quarterly meeting, so you can stay on top of things and show that your website's performing good for you. Their starter websites are just $1,500 to build and only $299 a month. So that's perfect for flooring companies who are getting started. Okay, if you're fairly new at it, it includes everything in the performance package. You're going to get like 15 to 20 pages that include product, service, photos, about us, contact, and more. All the relevant stuff that you need on your website. Targeted lead generation page. They're going to create a page that's good for like sales, specials, promotion. That's a good marketing page. It drives traffic to your website and specifically to that page. The pro performance is a little more expensive, good for companies that are growing the company. You got over that $1 million hump, you're growing your company. It's only $2,500 a month to build the site, $7.99 a month for the site, and includes everything in the performance package, up to 40 pages for the products and the services, catalogs, things like that. 2 targeted lead generation pages instead of 1. And so they'll create that and help do the marketing for that. And then up to 10 targeted product service. First page ranking strategy. So the goal is to save you thousands of dollars on pay-per-click advertising. That gets very expensive, and the cost per click just keeps going up and up and up. There's a lot of competition. So they have a good strategy. I'm not going to get into this because it's kind of confusing, but they have a good strategy to get you on the first page of Google, which is where you need to be. The SEO Accelerator program. This I like. They have a program. It's $9.50 a month. It's only for 2 months, and then it goes away. It does do some pay-per-click advertising, but it's to accelerate and get you on the first page of Google faster. And then once that's over, you go back just to your regular monthly rate. So if you want to get a boost and you want to get things going right away, this is a good strategy to get there. Okay. So on to, you guys can unmute yourself if you have any questions about anything we went over with goal setting, marketing, any questions about sales training, or any comments? I like that. This question, 3 to 5% advertising budget of what number? So let me answer that for James. So it's your total sales revenue, a 3 to 5% advertising budget. Now, James, he owns a window covering company. He's starting a flooring business, but the window covering company, when I was in the blind business, my budget was a little bit higher than it has been in the flooring business. So it's one thing I love about the flooring business is I was able to reduce my advertising budget. But I always found with window coverings, it was probably closer to 7 to 8%. So it's your total sales. At this point, if you don't have any sales, again, you're going to be doing closer to 10% of what it is, but whatever your total sales were for 2022, your advertising budget should be about 5% of that. The reality is, I hate the budget question that advertisers will ask. It's funny because none of us really have a budget. We don't consider, here's what we want to spend. Here's how we make decisions. This is just the reality. This is how we make decisions on what we're going to do. We look at the ad, we look at how much somebody is charging, and we decide if we're going to get a good return on investment. That's how we make decisions. We don't make decisions. We don't go back. Now, large corporations do it that way. They have a budget. They know how they're going to spend it. They talk about it. They have meetings about it, all that. We're small business owners. We don't do that. Somebody tells us that this ad here costs this amount. We decide, okay, let me try that. I'm going to do that. The one thing you shouldn't do is try pay-per-click advertising for $500 a month. $500 a month gets you nowhere. Facebook advertising, $500 to $1,000. That's not going to get you anywhere. The biggest mistake a lot of people make, and the marketing companies are at fault for this because they're the ones that they'll say, what's your budget? And you say, well, I could spend $500 a month. Okay. And they'll spend that money for you, but you won't get results. The reality is you're going to have to spend about $1,500 minimum per keyword category. So the strategy I used, I did most of my pay-per-click advertising I spent on carpet. And I was the carpet king of Arizona, where everybody else was investing their money on hard surface products. I didn't show up as much for flooring, but I was the #1 search on carpet in my area. So I dominated a keyword category. That's what you want to do with a small advertising budget. You want to dominate a keyword, a product. So don't spread it out amongst a lot of products. That waters down your advertising. So you want as many people to see your ad as possible. You don't want as many people. It's better off for a smaller number of people to see your ad multiple times than a large amount of people to see your ad once or twice. Okay, so you target your market based on a keyword and a territory. That's how you get effectiveness with a low budget. So my lead cost when I measured it, Vanessa, was, she's asking how much should an average lead cost? My average lead cost when I was measuring it was about $150. And with a 50% closing rate, it made my average, I'm sorry, that's backwards. My average lead cost was $75. My average sales cost was $150. So, and that's just using simple math, a 50% closing rate. So it's twice as much as that was my sale cost, my cost per customer. Buddy was exploring this on the forum the other day. It was a very interesting question because as our prices have gone up dramatically because of inflation, then our cost per lead probably went up, but not from a percentage standpoint. So now if you're paying a couple $100 for a lead, but your profitability is much greater, it's not as relevant. You got to look at it from a percentage standpoint. And look, you can get lost in numbers. I believe in numbers. I'm not as analytical as my son is. He's very analytical. He looks at numbers a lot tighter than I do. I look at creativity, marketing, judge things on a lot of stuff. I am going to look at my numbers, but I'm not going to dial it down to the ridiculous. Okay. I'm still going to try some marketing things out, see how it works. And one of the challenges with marketing is sometimes you don't have evidence of something working. Let's say you do a good job Facebook advertising and you're drawing traffic to your website. Facebook might not get the credit for that. So it could be working, but you don't have evidence of it. And that's the bigger challenge right now with our marketing dollars is we don't have good evidence of it working in every sector. You can get a unique number for, say, a print ad, but if they go to your website, then what good was that number? So you've got to think about it, but don't overthink it to the ridiculous. You got to be aware of what's going on. If you're going to the customers' houses and they have the magazine where they clearly saw your ad, it's probably marked down as a website lead because they went on your website and requested an estimate. So you got to judge that kind of with a grain of salt. I still think dollar for dollar pay-per-click is the best value in marketing because you are only paying for direct traffic. If you do print, you're paying for ads in hopes that people see your ad at the time that they're ready and that they call you. The return on investment of print advertising sucks. With digital, you're paying directly for traffic. So whether that's Facebook or pay-per-click through Google, any other type of digital marketing that you can do, that is the most effective. Now, I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket because Google did shut my son down for a few weeks because he wasn't following their rules. And these guys are horrible. I had another client that had that same problem, that they weren't following Google rules. He didn't even know he was shut down until I started working with him, and I did some investigation. I'm like, hey, where's your website? So, you know, Facebook can shut you down. Somebody can complain that you're a racist or some ridiculous thing like that. That'll shut you down. So don't rely on one thing. Never rely on just one source of marketing. Dana asks, is it worth offering financing? Great question. Financing, from what I found, from a marketing standpoint, it didn't draw people in. I haven't found a good marketing message that really drew people into my showroom. What drew them in was we showed up in a Google search. We were close to their area. We were convenient to buy from. And maybe they like the small family-owned business, no one over 5'6". But any sales special that I offered, I listen to customers, and I have my whole life. I've never heard a customer say, hey, I saw your ad for $500 off or 10% off. I'd like to see that product. The discounts work from, they do look good in a Facebook ad. They do look good on your website. So I'm not saying don't do them. I'm just saying that financing and that didn't attract customers. Now, some might argue with me that, oh yeah, well, look at Empire. You know, they offer 3 rooms for this rate. So yeah, that works. No, what's working for Empire and companies like that is the sheer volume of advertising. They are doing so much advertising. That's what's working. And again, if they're spending 15 to 20% of their total revenue on marketing, is that really working? I mean, for most of us, that's not sustainable. Okay, so is it worth offering financing? Financing is a salesperson's game. It's worth offering if you're a good salesperson and you offer it to your clients. It's worth offering because you can increase the average ticket price. You can get people to buy from you instead of somebody else. If you're a good salesperson and you train yourself on how to do it and get training on how to do it properly, offer it at every appointment, you can raise your average ticket and close more sales. So yes, it's worth it. Having financing available, it may help a little bit. It's not really going to move the needle. It's not going to move the needle from a marketing standpoint. It's not going to move the needle from a sales standpoint. It'll only move the needle is if you use it. Okay, gang, any other questions? And this whole thing's being recorded. I will share the recording. I saw some people got on late, and actually pretty good turnout for, I think we had over 70 people sign up. So almost half made it, 26, that's good. Always expect like 14 to show up. So I will, when I get the recording, I'm going to shoot this out to you guys a little later on today. And everybody, if you got any questions, you're interested in sales training, give us a call, reach out to us, let us know. We'd love to show you how that works, what the cost is and what the program is and how you'll benefit from that. But you guys have an excellent, profitable 2023. And I hope you all reach your goals and profit now in the flooring industry.